Welcome, Cancer. I'm Karen. This is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot, and this reading is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and it is a general reading for August 2023. Um, we will take a look at current situation, past and present influences, negative and positive, what we don't see, what to look for, challenge, future influence, outcome, and advice. I am using the Somnia illustrated version tarot today. It's kind of cool. Getting to know it, getting to like it actually. Let's get started. So Cancer, this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate. If it does not, please check your other placements because they may. And checking your other placements may give you additional information as well. And keep in mind, I do personal readings. Link to my website's below, and let's get started. So Cancer, current situation, Five of Cups, what past influence, sorry, Justice, present influence, Five of Wands, okay, negative, Queen of Cups, positive, Knight of Swords, what you don't see, Three of Wands, what to look for, Nine of Swords, challenge, World, future influence, the Fool, outcome, Ace of Swords, and advice. Okay, Two of Cups. Four of Swords, there's definitely some kind of healing, resting, looking at a situation a little deeper, but the Four of Swords too is like you're kind of in a forced healing mode. It's you have to be there, you have to do the thing. I will not lie, these are not super easy cards. So here is your Five of Cups. I will say in this deck, at least he's protected. He does have the umbrella, but he does feel... In this case, it's almost like being tied to something. I'm going to be honest with you. You do release this because of the Fool, and the Fool is about cutting those ropes, and I feel like it has directly to do with this. So you have the Five of Cups sitting here, and you're focused on the ropes. You're focused on not being able to move. You're focused on what you don't have anymore. You know, you're down. But keep in mind that you are protected from the rain. You have the umbrella, and you do still have Three Cups upright. So right now, that's why I say this healing is kind of forced. You're forced to look at what you've lost and what you don't have. And I think that is more of a lesson so that you can understand more why you're feeling that way. So I would never say like sit there and focus on what you don't have, but sometimes when we really take a look at what we don't have, we realize that that's not that important anyway, if that makes sense. Like what I do have is much more important than what I don't have. And sometimes looking at that is a realization to understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Something happened in the past where I feel like you thought things were unfair, even though they were fair, but there was something unfair about it too, right? So the justice tells us that the right things are going to happen, but I'm getting the feeling overall you're like, this was not fair. This was definitely just not the way it should have been, and something turned out not the way you wanted to, and it's kind of bummed you out, and you're focusing on that and going, okay, now what, how do I get through that? So the Five of Wands is your present, and you are conflicted, you are completely conflicted about it. So the Five of Wands is about conflict and competition. But if you do notice he's blowing out those candles, he's struggling in doing so. So you're kind of fighting this a little bit. You really want this to end. You really want this to stop. the feeling, the situation, whatever this is, but you're struggling doing it. And that's where you're at right now, and that's what's kind of influencing you right now. This struggle of stop. I want this, trying to put these flames out, but they're not going out, right? So I'm working at something where I'm getting nowhere. And again, that's kind of that forced feeling of that Four of Swords. So I feel like you're kind of in that area of ugh. So what you don't see though, and this is important, is the Three of Wands. Things are coming together. They are, you don't see it yet. So the Three of Wands, I'm sorry, is all about the ships coming in. And I almost feel like I'm getting this vision of the ships are there, but they're in the fog and they're going to come out, and all of a sudden you're going to see them. Like it's going to be very apparent. It's like the fog lifts or something happens where you go, oh, there I am. There it is. So I think that is something that's what I feel like when I see this in the position of something you don't see, because it's there, but you don't see it. So it's almost like it's in a fog. What you need to look for is the Nine of Swords. Be careful here. This is like a forewarning to, you know, not let yourself get too caught up in the future. You know, like we don't live too much in the future. Live in the now. Appreciate what's happening now. Understand what's happening now. The future's the future. It's going to be what it's going to be. I mean, yeah, we can make decisions and change what that's going to be, but we can't as I'm sitting here doing a tarot reading, we can't always predict the future. We can't. And sometimes we can, but it's all about the decisions. That's why tarot readings, we say you have free will. You know, here is a snapshot of what you might, you know, have to endure or look at, and the way things could turn out. But a lot of that can be switched. Um, Very much so. So your challenge is the world. And I feel like that is seeing what you've accomplished. Again, going back to that Five of Cups, not seeing the full cups, you're seeing the empty cup. So you're not looking at what you've really done. You know, and this is important when we, you know, are frustrated. We have to look at what we've done. We have to do that because sometimes we don't see it and we just don't take the time to look at it. And that's the challenge though. So this is challenging you right now to say, hey, can you do this? Can you take a look at where you're at, what you've done, what you've accomplished? Also, the challenge is understanding that you're almost to the end of this, because that's what the world too, it's the end of a certain life cycle. So you are coming to the end of things. Your negative influence is the Queen of Cups. I feel like this really says and talks about you're being sensitive. It's negative only because you're caring that much. You're caring so deeply that whatever happened up here that you don't feel like was necessarily the right thing, it's hard on you because you really care a lot. And it is getting in your way a little bit because at some point you have to, you know, go, how much energy and how much love do I give this? How much of my heart space do I give this if it keeps being taken away? And I feel like kind of that's what's happening. It's almost like that. Where your positive influence here is the Knight of Swords. So I do feel like something is coming in rather quickly, and this will shake you up. And shake you up in a good way, like, because right now you're not in a good place, so you need to like be shaken up, you know, like that's what we need. Sometimes we need something to kind of just take us out of the what we're so focused on that's not all of that good. So something is coming in really quickly. This could be a person too, but I do feel like when this happens it kind of leads to that anxiety, so watch for that. And it might be too that when that happens that you might get that epiphany moment as well. So keep an eye on that. Your future influence is the Fool. And here's what I see here. This will make sense a little bit. The Five of Cups has got the ropes around him, and the Fool, he cuts himself free from these ropes. So I feel like these go hand in hand. I don't see these together very often, but I'm like, oh, you're cutting those ropes and you're going to take that leap of faith. and you're going to start something new. However, he does have his journal with him, which tells me a lot about you've got you've got your lessons, you've got the things you've learned, you've got you again going back to this challenge of understanding what you've done and what you've accomplished. You're going to, and that's what I see with that fool. He's got his journal, he's cut himself free, and he's gonna go. And it tells me that journal says that you're taking with you what you need, and that's your knowledge and all of those things that you've written out about what you've done. Your outcome is the Ace of Swords, and I feel like this is going to give you complete and total clarity. You're going to feel victorious, but it's not in this super victorious way, because it's more about seeing the truth, and that truth is going to set you free. And he's coming out of the chest, so he's being set free. So I feel like that truth is really going to set you free, and I think that that's going to be really key here. But it's cutting yourself free, actually, that allows you to see the whole truth and allows you to have that epiphany moment. The Two of Cups is your advice for the month, and I think that really there's two pieces here, or two, it can be two things. Take it as it resonates. Either it's embrace somebody that you feel like can really understand you and help you, or understand the most important love is to yourself. Because until you love yourself, you cannot love anything else, really. I mean, you can, but you can. You're only giving part of yourself if you don't love yourself. Do you see what I mean? So find that love within yourself, and find the comfort within yourself, so that you can recognize all of the things that you've accomplished, and you can cut yourself free and then take that leap. But there is something that's going to come in and help you shake things up. And it may be just this. It puts out that fire, right? It helps you put that fire out. So there you have it, Cancer. I hope this resonated. Please let me know if it did. Hit the like button, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Please comment. Appreciate all the comments, and have a beautiful day.